Qualcomm reported earnings. They beat the estimates for revenue by 4%, EPS by 16%. And with all of that, the stock is currently down 4.41% during the day. Company has a market cap of just under $160 billion and a forward PE, very respectable, 15.3 times. Has a nice dividend yield of 2.25% as well. Now, as you will see throughout this video, you will notice that this is one of the best quality semiconductor companies that is flying under the radar, that is not trading at a super high multiple compared to the other players out there in the market. Of course, there's still a lot of new things that might happen with Qualcomm with regards to AR, VR, their chip there, XR chip, and of course, their move into the PC market. We're going to talk about that in a bit as well. And what are the analysts expecting for the next coming fiscal years? Well, as you can see here, fiscal year 2025, sales growth of 8.51% year over year, with EPS growing quite faster at 13.63% year over year. Moving 1 year later, fiscal year 2026, 5.36% sales growth and 6.22% EPS. So yes, this company is not expected to grow as fast as the likes of Nvidia, for example, above 20% top and bottom line. But still, a quality company that pays a dividend, that buybacks shares, still grows and trade at a nice multiple. Now, with regards to its dividend payouts, you can see here the annualized growth in the last 10 years sits at close to 10%. In the last 3 years, 6.87% has a shareholder yield of 4.15%. Now you might say, why is that higher than the dividend yield? Well, that's because it adds also the buyback yield to that. So the outcome is a higher shareholder yield. So when you're buying Qualcomm, of course, you're going to get some push from the AI momentum with regards to its new chips, especially with AI PCs, refresh across the globe. A lot of people will just upgrade their PCs because they want the newest and the best thing in the market. This is also something that will push, in my opinion, Windows higher and all the chip makers out there as well. There's also Windows 12 that will come out later in 2024, should also be a tailwind. So with Qualcomm, you're definitely getting value, growth, a nice dividend, and in my opinion, a bit less risk than the other high flyers out there. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So I'll start off with a comment here from the CEO. So we are extremely pleased to report strong quarterly results with revenues and EPS exceeding the high end of the guidance. Looking ahead, we are building on this momentum with our leading Snapdragon platforms and technology differentiations in connectivity, computing, and on-device generative AI across handset, automotive, PC, XR, and industrial IoT. Now, right now, with regards to industrial IoT, you will see that the IoT segment is the one that has been taking a hit. This is nothing new. This has been mentioned already in past reports and earnings calls. And so, looking at first quarter results, revenue increased 5% year over year. Earnings before taxes increased 25% year over year. Net income 24%, and diluted earnings per share also 24% year over year on a GAAP basis. If we look at the segments here, QCT, QTL is the licensing part of the business. There, year over year with regards to revenue and earnings before taxes, it's down 4% and 3%. But with regards to QCT, much better, revenues up 7% and EBT up 19% year over year. As for the QCT different revenue streams, so handset devices up 16% year over year, there is going to be a continuous momentum with regards to that, especially in the smartphone industry. We've seen that already with a couple of other companies commenting on some positive momentum there. That's up 16% year over year. I would also like to note that Apple beats Samsung to take the #1 spot in global smartphone market in 2023. Yes, Qualcomm's tech can also be found in the iPhone, but there are way more components in an Android device, especially in a Samsung device. Take that into consideration. Now, with regards to automotive, nice momentum there as well, up 31% year over year, and then IoT down 32%. So overall, QCT revenue up 7%. Now, with regards to returning capital to shareholders, they returned $1.7 billion to stockholders, including $895 million or 80 cents per share of cash dividends paid and $784 million through repurchases of 6 million shares of common stock. With regards to outlook for the next quarter, which is Q2 of fiscal year 2024, revenue to come in between $8.9 to $9.7 billion. Let's divide that into the two segments, QCT, QTL. QCT revenues between $7.6 and $8.2 billion, QTL $1.2 to $1.4 billion. Then GAAP diluted earnings per share between $1.73 and $1.93. And I have to mention that guidance was also above the expectations. Now moving over to a couple of things that were mentioned in the earnings call, so a couple of announcements here. So first up, with regards to their relationship with Samsung, so they're announcing that they extended a multi-year agreement with Samsung relating to Snapdragon platforms for flagship Galaxy smartphone launches starting in 2024. So the S24 line, S24 Ultra, for example, big launch for them. Up next, they said here that Apple exercised its unilateral option to extend its global patent license agreement for an additional 2 years, taking the existing agreement through March 2027. Let's see if they'll do that again by 2027. Second, they've also renewed long-term agreements with 2 significant Chinese smartphone OEMs. They don't want to mention who that is, but you can take your guess down in the comments below. They also continue to negotiate new agreements or renewals with other key licensees and OEMs, including some whose agreements are set to expire in early fiscal 2025. Moving on to automotive, that's going to be a very important segment for them, especially when we are turning every car into basically a computer on wheels. Having great chips in them is going to be of extreme importance. So automotive continues to be an important pillar of our growth and diversification strategy. Notably, 75 new models launched commercially in 2023 were for technologies, highlighting Qualcomm's grown scale in automotive and execution of our design wins. Then with regards to PCs, we've talked about that in the previous Qualcomm video. I think this is going to be a huge game changer in the PC market. Now, of course, they'll start small, but from what we're hearing already right now, they think it's already surpassing Apple's M3. Of course, I'm sure with benchmarks, they can play around with whatever testing they're doing. But I mean, this is already quite a big achievement. So they say here, in PCs, we're driving towards the launch of Snapdragon X Elite in mid-2024 and are pleased that our design win traction continues to increase since the platform was announced last October. We expect Snapdragon X Elite to set the industry benchmark for on-device generative AI and Copilot experiences, in addition to leading performance and battery life for next generation's Windows PCs. Again, Windows 12, we've also heard from the likes of Intel and other that, well, bringing AI to your devices, whether it's a PC or a smartphone. This is something that we were going to get used to in the coming years. Then with regards to mixed reality solutions, so they announced, of course, the Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2. Our new platform supports 4.3K per eye resolution and 90 frames per second in 12 or more concurrent cameras to deliver crisp, immersive mixed reality and virtual reality experiences. I currently own the Meta glasses with Ray-Ban and the Meta Quest 3. I can tell you that my expectations were already quite high, but this is just next level. I mean, I cannot wait to see what happens in the coming years as these chips become better and better and the devices become smaller, lighter, but the performance goes up quite substantially. If you haven't tried it out, go try it out, go as a friend, or maybe go in a store and try it out for yourself, because it truly is amazing technology. And so looking at the graph right now, as you can see, in the last couple of weeks, we were pretty close to being overbought at around $150, $155 or so. Since then, it has cooled off quite a bit under the 20. Right now, today, we are bouncing above that 50-day moving average, which sits at around $140. If you're looking for an even better opportunity, I would say maybe the 200-day moving average, which sits at around $126. Overall, I do think that this is one of the best semiconductor companies out there that is not being hyped up at all. It pays a nice dividend yield. It grows into growing markets, exceeds expectations, exciting stuff for the future, which in my opinion is not really priced in right now. So I do see an opportunity there. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you own Qualcomm, let me know as well. Or maybe if you're looking to add it to your portfolio, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.